Do you want to learn effective ways to build relationships, generate sales, and grow your business from successful entrepreneurs, startups, and CEOs without listening to a long interview? If so, you've come to the right place. Gresham Harkless values your time and is ready to share with you precisely the information you're in search of. This is the IAM245 podcast.
Hello. This is Gresh from the IAM245 podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Moaz Hamid of REME. Moaz, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Pleasure meeting you, Gresham.
No problem. Super excited to meet you and have you on the show. And what I wanted to do was just read a little bit more about Moaz so you can hear about all the awesome things that he's doing. And Moaz Hamid joined REME in 2018 as managing director. In this role, he runs the company's daily operation and creates long-term roadmap and vision for the company. He is also focused on assuring the business development, tech team, product team, concierge, and other REME staff offer the highest level of customer service that can help a large amount of people. REME's strategy is to view its role through the customer's perspective to guarantee that the customer's life is enhanced. Clients are made to feel that they are appreciated, part of the REME community, and that REME is adding value to their lives and making their lives healthier, happier, more creative, and productive. Moaz, are you ready to speak to the IAM245 community?
Yes, I'm definitely whatever I can do to help you and help them as well.
Awesome. Wow, I'm super excited to have you on and hear a little bit more about you. And the first question I had was to hear about what I call your CEO story and what led you to start your business.
Yeah, definitely. So I come from a deep tech background. I was a managing partner at Google. Before it also was a managing partner at Microsoft, helped launch Windows Mobile, helped launch the HTC brand. So I come from a very extensive tech background, and it doesn't have much to do with wellness. I started advising the investors of the startup in the early days of the creation of it. And later on, they liked a lot of the strategy that I was helping to create. And they decided to allow me to run the company. And it was a lot of learning for me to learn about the health and wellness and what value would tech bring into the industry. So through that learning, I realized there is a lot of value from tech that can come into the wellness and help bring it to everybody and make it very much accessible to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like technology is literally everywhere. It's funny, I was just talking with somebody and I was saying that there's not really any industry that hasn't been disrupted or affected by technology. So just like you saw, I kind of see the exact same thing where technology is everywhere.
Yeah. The biggest challenge right now is there is some industry that people are rushing, bringing tech into without actually understanding what is the value that they're trying to bring to that industry, and without fully understanding the industry as well. And that could create some issues in the community surrounding this industry and the cities that champion in this industry. And I just really hope we just don't rush into bringing tech into everything and take a moment and really understand what we're trying to bring into the industries.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, when I was reading your bio, that kind of touched on that customer service piece, because a lot of times people, like you mentioned, are just so easy to say, let's make it quicker, faster, stronger, whatever. Yes. And they don't take into account the actual stakeholders. And it kind of sounds like you guys are doing that with REME.
Yeah. And then the more actually you understand about your customer and your expert and everybody who are part of the circle that you're creating, the more valuable you become to them and the more attached they are to you. It's basically very, very important that you sit down and listen to them and try to understand the problem, try to walk into your customer's shoes before you actually propose the solution. And once you do that, you might even come up with a better idea or another problem that actually worth solving instead of the original problem that you do. And that's something we faced at REME as well. We actually pivoted the company multiple times. And this last pivot, when I took over as a CEO, made us to focus a lot more on the community and a lot more in the issues that facing people today and blocking them from entering or even taking a look at wellness. And just hammering themselves with work, and getting back to work and forgetting about life and forgetting about their health and families and everything else that life brings.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to hear that you guys are doing that because like you said, a lot of times I'll sit down with somebody or somebody will say that I have everything to solve your problems and they have no idea what your problem is. They don't know anything about what exactly you're going through or what you're looking for, what better mousetrap you're looking for. But you've been able to kind of lead the team that is able to kind of dial in to the customers, get an idea of exactly how and what better mousetrap they may need and develop something for them.
Definitely. And it's not the same also from a person to a person. It's always like the problem vary, and you could understand it for one person and not the other. You could solve it for one person but not the other. So it's very unique for people. And at this time, from having like AIs to machine learning and the ability for you to study a lot more data, it became a lot more easier today. But people have to take the effort. The CEOs have to take the effort and step back and actually look at data, study data, analyze the data, talk to consumers, understand them, walk in their shoes. And then as soon as they do that, then hopefully they come up with something that could solve whatever they're trying to solve for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Data is kind of like a measurement that you can use, but it's not everything. So you want to have those other kind of vantage points to kind of pull in from to make those decisions. And I know I touched on it a little bit. Could you break down a little bit more about what you guys are doing with REME and what you guys are doing to support these clients that you're working with?
So we are a health and wellness that help bring customizable services to you wherever you are, in your office, in your workplace, at your home, in your hotel if you're traveling. And at the same time, in order for us to be able to touch the life of everyone around us and bring wellness to them, we needed to actually take it to a higher level where we become a lot more educational and be there for people from the first step of them entering the wellness journey. And from services that we offer to educational services that maybe someone cannot afford your services, for example. So you need to have something for everyone that touch their life, that help them through their journey. So some of the services we offer today, for example, are stretch services for that runners could use, a tennis player could use before their games. So to help them not get injured through the games that they're about to play. Or if you play basketball or something and it's been a while, like you've been busy and you're not playing anymore. I'm talking about myself. And then suddenly you want to go back to play again. You end up hurting yourself. But if somebody actually taught you a way to help keep your muscle active and keep your body active, so your body is always ready to get back to that game. And if you didn't have the time to do that, then you could actually open our app and order a service. And an expert will come to you and prepare your body, prepare your muscle for that activity you're about to do.
I actually tore my Achilles tendon not playing basketball well. And it was one of the most painful things. But like you said, I would love to have been able to have an app that I could just pull on to get the experts and get me going and in the right place so that I wouldn't have potentially tore my Achilles tendon. So I completely understand where you're coming from.
Definitely. Awesome.
Yes. And now I wanted to ask you for what I call your secret sauce. And this is what you feel kind of distinguishes either you or your organization. What do you feel kind of sets you guys apart?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at myself like when I took over REME and I saw like we're trying to get into a service industry, but we didn't look deeper into the problem we're trying to solve. So I took a step back and I started trying to understand the problem we're trying to solve. And I tried to understand for who we're trying to solve it. And then I noticed like, wait a minute, I am running two nonprofit. I was always in a plane every day. So I'm going to solve it for myself first. And then I'm going to look at my colleagues in the office. How could I solve it for them as well? And basically, this is the secret sauce is like, are you building something for who? For who are you building it? So take a look at yourself. Take a look at your team. Take a look at people around you. Make sure you're surrounded by people who are actually, you are solving the problem for them. If you don't have somebody in your immediate circle, make sure you reach out to your customer. Bring them into your office. Sit down with them. And by doing this, you actually build something very robust. So REME is helping me today. It's helping my colleagues. It's helping a lot of the people around us, our family members. because we actually took the time to understand really what's the problem we're trying to solve.
I absolutely love that. And it's the idea of scratching your own itch, so to speak, because you start to create something for yourself. And the next thing you know, this person, it's your family member, starts to have the same thing that they're trying to work through. And then you solve that. And then you solve your friends, your neighbors, so on and so forth. And then you start to build a movement, which I absolutely love. So
exactly. And the funny thing is, like, by the time you're done, you actually start talking about it to people. And I was like, oh, I could use that. Oh, I could use that. And everybody around you starts saying that word. Then you know, like, you're actually in the right track.
Exactly. You're on to something big. So I absolutely love that. And that's definitely a great reminder. And I wanted to switch gears a little bit and ask you for what I call a CEO hack. And this might be an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but it's something that makes you more effective and efficient.
So I love running. I'm from the Bay Area, and running through the hill in the early morning, through the fog, and Coral is called the name of the fog in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. So running through Coral is like one of the most fun and enjoyable and relaxing thing I do. Just making sure that you actually take the time and do something that you love and enjoy. It's like the biggest and most important thing you could do for yourself. Here in LA, where we are based in Santa Monica, is not as cold as the Bay Area. So I don't find myself running as much. So I turn back into meditation. So I try to do like 1 hour to 2 hours a day of meditation to help me refocus and understand and absorb all the data that I'm receiving every day, and all the issues and challenges that we might face and try to solve as well. So just making sure that you take the time to take care of yourself and relax yourself is very, very important for a CEO, because it gets overwhelming very quickly, and issues and challenges that you're facing, they will never stop coming. So just be present and be there and take care of yourself first.
And now I want to ask you for what I call a CEO nugget. And this is a word of wisdom or piece of advice, or if you can hop into a time machine, what would you tell your younger business self?
The most important thing, and I wish there is this time machine so I go back and do it again, because I start doing it in a later time in my life. Make sure every person you meet in your life, you always remember them. You always make them feel something. Your kindness, your connection to them, you being present for them, and always make the time to actually wish them a happy new year, or a happy holidays, or a happy birthday, or whatever it is that's going on in their life. And I know for a CEO, this is a very challenging thing to do, but just think about Christmas time or New Year time or Hanukkah time or any of the holidays that around the year. Select one of them, maybe the New Year. Select one of them and just make sure that you wish everybody around you from your circle a happy new year, and stay in touch with them, because you never know, like, when do you need them in your life, and how they're doing in their life, and when your path's gonna cross with them again. And always be kind to everybody, because today, like, your barista, tomorrow is your CEO, today is your Uber driver, tomorrow is the Fortune 500 startup CEO. Mm-hmm. So you never know, like, this life is really funny, and just make sure, like, you stay in touch with everyone at least once a year, and just build a strong network around you, because it will carry you a long way.
Now, I wanted to ask you my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And I know we touched on it a little bit, but what does being a CEO mean to you?
Yeah, being a CEO is walking in the shoes of all of your colleagues, of everybody working for your company. At the same time, making sure, like, you take a small look back and a long look forward as well, but not forgetting being present for everybody around you, especially your team.
Absolutely. I absolutely love that definition, because it keeps in mind that you have an entire team that you hold and are responsible for, but at the same time, you have to understand and look in the future as well, too, to know where to go.
Yeah. And if, sometimes also, like, you give lots of work to your teammate and colleagues and stuff, and they might not know, like, how to do it the right way. Make sure you have the time also to sit down with them, show them how to do it. If they couldn't do it at all, sit down with them again, second time, a third time, be kind to them. And I'm sure 100% they will learn it and start delivering for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you find those are the people that are your loyal, ardent supporters, and they'll run through a brick wall because you've shown how much you cared, as we kind of talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, Moaz, I truly appreciate the time that you took today. What I wanted to do was pass you the mic, so to speak, just to see if there's anything additional you can let our readers and our listeners know, and then how they can find you, get in touch with you, and of course, download the app.
Definitely. So I'm going to start with the last one. So we are at REME_app in our social media, Instagram and Twitter. Our website is REMEapp.com. Me personally at Moaz in Twitter and in Instagram. I don't post much, but just beautiful photos and stuff in Instagram. But something important I want to leave you with, make sure you pay it forward as well. There is a lot of up and coming new CEO, startup CEO. We run a nonprofit in Santa Monica that's helping like young entrepreneurs connect to a lot of mentors and a lot of future customers and future partners. We make time to actually teach them how to create a successful business model, how to look at growing your business, how to look at your business plan the right way, how to look at your market and market sizing, and it's completely free program. It's not just me. I have over 50 people that dedicating their time to come and help other entrepreneurs. The program is called Startup Boost, and we open the cohort twice a year for startup, and it's completely free and no catch at all. It's just we trying to do our best to help the next entrepreneurs and the next CEO. And it's very important to keep paying it forward. And I hope every CEO do the same thing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We'll make sure to have those links in the show notes. And Moaz, I appreciate you for the time you took today, the time you took to help us pay it forward as well, too. We can learn a lot more from you. So I truly appreciate you. And I hope you have a phenomenal rest of the day.
Thank you, Gresham, and you too. Stay warm.
Thank you for listening to the I Am CEO podcast powered by Blue 16 Media. Tune in next time and visit us at IAM245.co. I Am CEO is not just a phrase, it's a community. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. Grab CEO Gear at www.ceogear.co. This has been the I Am CEO podcast with Gresham Harkless. Thank you for listening.